Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Pokemon, the podcast where we talk anything and everything Pokemon. And it's been quite a while. I've been recovering from a severe amount of jet lag because I did go out of the country for a bit of a vacation. And that kind of, I think it was like right after I recorded my last episode. And then I just got started back up in school and just getting ready for work in a couple weeks. And it's there's a lot that's happened in the last couple weeks. And I didn't want to rush out an episode. And I was about to record an episode for this weekend and thought, well, Pokemon Go Fest is happening. So maybe I'll just wait and, kind of go through Pokemon Go Fest. That way I can share my experience with you guys as far as how I felt the entire event went. And so it's literally the night of Sunday, and I'm still a little bit tired, but willing and able to record an episode because I didn't want to go too long without talking to you guys. This might be a bit of a shorter episode because I kind of just kept the headlines or the news update stuff very, very straight to the point, because I also did want to put out another episode still this Friday, another short episode though, but kind of sticking to a big topic surrounding a bit of drama, although I don't think I want to address the drama directly. It's just about a general topic that we are all kind of a part of, and so I wanted to reserve that for Friday's episode. I'm not going to exactly delve into that anymore. I think you guys can, if you're in the Pokemon community and seen a lot of social media in the last two weeks, within the last 2 weeks, then you know what's going on, but I want to reserve my own thoughts for that a little bit later. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and go through some of the recent Pokemon stuff and talk about Pokemon Go Fest. We'll start with first, in case, I don't think I mentioned this in this last episode. I don't know if it was even announced when I recorded my last episode. But Pokemon Master Journeys is coming back, or at least is continuing on September 10th on Netflix. So we're going to get the first 12 episodes of that season. This is, of course, moving forward with the Pokemon series, which they added the word master in the middle of it, Pokemon Master Journeys, instead of just calling it Pokemon Journeys, which kind of gives me a little bit of nostalgia for Johto, right? Is it Johto? Okay, hold on. There was Advanced Battle Master Quest. Was that Johto, or was that just Ruby and Sapphire? I want to say that was Johto. But I remember that being a term, and I'm pretty sure they used Master somewhere else. So, the title is just whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Although, I do kind of like the brief synopsis we got, where they're just kind of pushing Ash, of course, with the battling aspect. We kind of get a glimpse, or I guess if you've seen a lot of the social media posts about Go and what he's been catching, Go gets some pretty extraordinary Pokemon. But also we get the addition of the third character, which I can't remember her name. It's gonna bug me, but where she's the Yamper's owner, I guess, or closest, I guess. Yamper has the closest bond to in the family. She takes her first steps into being a trainer, and I think she gets an Eevee. So either way, I'm looking forward to the series. I really liked Pokemon Journeys, and there was the third season kind of felt very just filler, like episode fillers, but I think it ended very well. And so I'm looking forward to continuing on, of course, the journey and seeing where it takes the main characters. And I'm pretty sure that Blue and Blastoise showed up somewhere. So I'm hoping that happens in this season. Also, out of the blue, continuing on with the 25th anniversary music collaboration, Pokemon released another single, not from anyone that they've announced, right? Because we already did the Post Malone concert, we got the Katy Perry single, and then there was a J Balvin announcement. We haven't got anything from J Balvin yet, but just out of nowhere, this song called Take It Home is created by the popular UK artist Mabel. I think that's how you pronounce it. I didn't really quite look this one up. Mabel or Mabel. Like I said, popular in the UK. The song I like, though. I like the song a lot. I haven't really delved into the lyrics to see how Pokemon related it is, and honestly, I haven't even had time to really look up the music video for it. But I did listen to the song, and I do dig it. I think I just like it just as much as Electric. I think it just fits everything there. But yeah, that's it. It was just random. But I don't understand why they released a song to an artist that we were not familiar yet, or they have not even announced yet. Like, where's this J Balvin single at? Like, where is that gonna come into play? Or, like, why didn't they just announce Mabel instead of J Balvin? I don't know. It's very, very confusing. But at least we're getting music. At least they're continuing that trend, and hopefully, like, I think at this point they just gotta go monthly. Go monthly with the song releases. So that way we have something for us to continue on throughout the year and continue to remind us that it is Pokemon's 25th anniversary. Now, moving forward on to the TCG side of things, we did get some images of the V-Union Special Collection boxes. So we did talk about those V-Union cards where you had to get the 4 cards to create the one image. There was Mewtwo, Greninja, and Zacian. And it looks like that they're going to be promo cards. You're going to give you all 4 pieces in a collection box, which is, I guess, it is the better way, I think, to go about it. Although it kind of almost seems silly. It's like, well, then why can't you just let me play the jumbo card of it when it's just going to be relatively the same thing? Although the mechanic is that all 4 cards have to be in your discard pile before you can actually play it. But I think if you think about like pulling out from booster boxes or blister packs or whatever, it would just feel very, very odd of getting 20 of Mewtwo's head and like only 3 of Mewtwo's right arm. Like, it just seems very strange and awkward. And I think the only reasonable and logical and maybe less complaining way to go is to just give all 4 cards as promos in these special collection boxes. So it's kind of like a weird bittersweet thing, but they're still cool. I mentioned before, I think these are some of the best artwork that I've seen in most cards coming from Pokemon. So they're obviously still going to be worth to get. So you can go ahead and check out those images on Pokebeach. They have the images of the products there. Then we also get more autograph promo cards. Now, the first one that came up was Marnie, which came out in Japan a while back. We're getting our English release, I think, on August 6th is when she debuts on store shelves. Hopefully, knock on wood there. But after that, then I think we saw Piers got an autograph promo card. Now, they announced 4 more: Leon, Nessa, Bee, and Raihan. All 4 of those come with their own signed autograph promo cards. Will we see them here in the U.S.? I would hope most likely soon. Not soon per se, but maybe an announcement soon that they're going to come out here. Although we never got an announcement for Piers to be released, so I'm not sure what they're going to do with that. But I would really like to have Nessa seems, to me, it just seems like the most wholesome one. I think she's just sitting in a cafe, reading a book or something. But she's just in regular clothes, and it's just like a casual take on a character that you normally don't get to see. So obviously I'm always going to be biased towards Nessa just because she's also a water trainer. So there's that. But the other cards do look cool. Again, you can check them out on Pokebeach. And then we finally get some insight as to what the 25th anniversary collection is going to contain. It's going to be a lot of Pikachus. Literally a lot of Pikachus. There's Surfing Pikachu V, there's Birthday Pikachu, there's Pikachu V Union. If I pull up the link here on Pokebeach, I can kind of tell you what else you're going to see. There's Surfing Pikachu V Max. There's Flying Pikachu V Max. The V Union is literally going to be just a variety of Pikachus just drawn differently, which is kind of cool. Then there's also going to include a redrawn Pikachu from base set, and I think a reprint from Pikachu base set. Same thing with Surfing Pikachu and Flying Pikachu. We're going to get reprints of those. I'm trying to think what else is in there. I think Birthday Pikachu is going to be like a promo for, at least in Japan, along with a Venusaur and I would assume Blastoise, but I don't see Blastoise on here. But it's literally Pikachus. Just a bunch of Pikachus everywhere. I think it's kind of cool. I know a lot of people... I don't know if it's a lot of people, to be honest, but I did see that complaint of like, well, like it's kind of a waste of a 25th anniversary set when you could have had like a cool, like, you know, collection of like, you know, the best of these set cards. True, but you gotta think 25th anniversary, 25 is Pikachu's Pokédex number. Pikachu is the mascot of Pokemon. Everyone can recognize Pikachu. Pikachu sells to kids. Like, it only makes sense to kind of overload it with the Pikachu. Maybe that's just an exaggeration, but I don't have any problem with it. Like, Pikachu's cool. I don't have any problems with Pikachu. And all these cards look cute. Like, it's just fun. It's just like a fun little collection to have. So, I'm looking forward to it. I think Japan is getting their set in October, the 25th anniversary set. But there is a gold collection box that is being, like, lottoed out. Which comes with like the gold Pokeball card and the gold Pikachu card, which kind of look neat. And yeah, it's just the Pikachus, man. It's an overload. If Pikachu is your favorite Pokemon, you are going to go crazy over the set, because it's just like I said, an overload of Pikachus, and I think it's cool. I think it's worth it. I'm looking forward to seeing what the English cards look like, especially if they're going to be slightly different, because the 25th anniversary cards looks like they have like this kind of this stamp that's bigger than what we've seen stamped on some cards, like on the right hand side. So I'm curious if we're going to get that same treatment, or if it's just going to be like the 25th anniversary logo that we have now, where it's Pikachu's cheeks that are the 2 and the 5. But again, you can check that out on Poke Beach for what all those cards look like. And then they also have on Poke Beach the English product images for Pokemon Celebrations, which are pretty much what we saw already beforehand. So if you want to relook at those, I think there's some new updated, more clear English product images for that set, which again is going to come out in October. And no pre-orders, as far as I know, are up. Or at least, let me kind of see how I can guide around this. The only pre-orders that are up right now are retailers that are jumping the gun and assuming they're going to get a certain amount, and just charging already for like, I think there were some that I just thought that were way too expensive, and I don't know. I would avoid just hold off on those, maybe. Like, if you can get them at retail, try to get them at retail, but please don't try to pay like double, triple the cost of what it should be. Poke Beach has that all information where, you know, that tells you how much each thing is going to be. I think there was one box that I saw that was maybe going to be like $50, but one of the pre-order sites, the retailers, is already trying to pre-order for like $100, and like, no, come on, don't do that. That's just crazy. Come on, just be a little bit patient. Figure out, look at what all these retail prices are going to be or should be, and, just kind of get ready at your computers, follow GameStops, Best Buys, IGN deals, whatever you got to do to get notifications of when pre-orders go up, so that we can be ready and just get that rolling if you're looking to get these cards. Please try to avoid the scalp prices as much as you can, and don't give in to that unless you're absolutely just desperate for it and think that you're never going to get these cards. I have high hopes, especially since Pokemon cards are kind of staying on shelves a little bit longer than they have in the past. And yes, I know this is going to be a special holiday set. People are going to scalp this like crazy because of the base set Charizard and all that stuff. But let's try to give the benefit of a doubt a little bit here before we kind of go crazy ourselves and make a purchase that we kind of regret later on. Because I know there was many times where I bought something that was way overpriced than it should have, and then like a couple months later it went way back down. I was like, oh wow, if I only had waited a little bit longer, I could have bought it at this price, and it's just readily available. Like what, and also what comes to mind is like I can recall vividly. When I was working at a comic book shop and we were selling Pokemon singles, Shamans, right? Shamans were super popular back in the day during Roaring Skies for the meta and everything, and we were selling the full arts for like $90, and people were buying them. But then as soon as the rotation happened, Shamans were brought down to like $15-$20, and it's like, oh man, if people had just waited a little bit longer, they would have been fine. But I get it, right? People need the Shamans for their decks and whatnot, so I kind of get it to that extent, especially if they're competing in tournaments. But as a collector, it's like, just be a little bit patient. Car prices will go down. All right, anyway, moving on from there, let's talk a little bit about the games. I'm really going to only update about Pokemon Masters and about a new announcement that we just got. But in Pokemon Masters, we got the Beachside Rivalry Story event, which introduces Gloria and Inteleon and Marnie and Grimmsnarl. Very short kind of story, kind of pits the two against each other, but obviously in a friendly rival kind of way. The scouts are up for both characters now. I've dumped 6,000 gems, I think, already into Gloria, but I have not pulled her yet. Although the Marnie and Grimmsnarl is very tempting, because Grimmsnarl is just a cool character, and Marnie is just that's just another cool character as well, a fan favorite for sure. So I'm really looking forward to at least getting one of these two, if not both of them. But I'm very scared to spend any more gems, because I don't want to buy any more gems. I spent too much already trying to get Kyogre and Groudon. I don't know if I want to go that route again. But also, because I was just thinking in the back of my head, like, man, like if I'm gonna get these two characters, like I missed out on the first summer seasonal scouts. However, we are getting that story back. I think it's like Steven and Lyra were the first summer pair scouts, the first for those season, which is gonna be the repeat events happening on Tuesday, the 20th, I believe. So you can kind of keep an eye out for that in case you need to catch up on your seasonal scout pairs. Also, the Battle Point Challenge features is kind of spotlighting the Galar region, and I think that's also until the 20th, until it starts to rotate again. We also have the Ground and Poison type Egg event, with shiny variants of Ammonite, Cubone, and Aerodactyl being available. So if you're an egg hatcher in Pokemon Masters, there you go. You got more shiny variants to collect. And then also, what was kind of exciting was the Legendary Arena now has Moltres. And that's, I don't know how long that's lasting, but that was kind of a fun and interesting battle to take on. A little bit more challenging than I thought it would be. However, because I wanted to make sure that I completed this one in the time span I had, I actually looked up some tips to try to figure out, how to take down Moltres, and ended up being a good trio pair to use that I think across the Pokemon Masters community fully accepts. Acerola, Lycanroc, Olivia Lycanroc, and then the third one, oh man, I already forgot what the third one was. I think it was Swanna. Swanna, because you need a potion healer there. Those three are going to definitely help you get through Moltres on the hardest difficulty. However, what a lot of people tend to forget to say is not just the levels of those sync pairs, but also their sync grids. For whatever reason, when people suggest teams, they tend to leave out their sync grids, because what's important here, again, this is like a little Pokemon Masters walkthrough now. Moltres puts up Sunny Day, but in this event, weather conditions are permanent. So in that, once you start the event and Sunny Day's up, you can activate Sandstorm or Rainy Day or whatever, and it's going to stay until that bar goes completely down, and then Moltres enters like his second round, right? Now the problem though is that even though he's going to put Sunny Day up, and you're like, oh, I'm going to put Rainy Day and take it away, halfway through his HP on that second bar, he puts Sunny Day up again. Now, the thing is with the three sync pairs I mentioned with It's Acerola, Olivia, and Skyla. Those are the 3 trainers. Acerola puts up the Sandstorm, and then you can build Olivia's Sync Grid to make sure that Lycanroc takes advantage of that Sandstorm, so boosting attack damage, boosting sync boost damage, or sync attack, whatever. And doing all that and making sure that Skyla Sync Grid makes sure that you can refresh your potions, and that potion is going to heal a good amount of damage. The Sandstorm for Acerola, though, is important because, sure, you can get that first Sandstorm rolling, and that's enough to last you that first round, and enough for Olivia and Lycanroc to take down Moltres' first HP. But on the second round, because Moltres is weak to water and not rock, it does take a little bit longer to get through that one. And without that extra Sandstorm, it's a bit of a struggle. So, to kind of clarify here, Acerola and Palossand only have 2 Sandstorm. You're only allowed Sandstorm twice, but if you get the MP refresh on your Sync Grid, then you can run Sandstorm again, or at least have a chance of recovering one of those Sandstorms, so that way you can run it again during that second HP bar. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing, and it kind of made somewhat sense, but trust me, that team really does work, and just make sure you build up your Sync Grids for Olivia to take advantage of the Sandstorm, Skyla to be able to heal, to be like a healing master, and then Palossand to also make sure that there is an extra Sandstorm available, but also you can upgrade Astonish to be able to flinch. Now, the other substitute for Skyla is you can use Eevee, because Eevee's tackle on the Sync Grid can cause flinch if you have that sync tile. So you can do that. Plus, Eevee also is a potion, has potion as one of their moves. So I think, if anything, I've seen Skyla and Eevee kind of common across the board, interchangeable in a way. So as long as you have Palossand and Lycanroc, Skyla or Eevee is a good, last entry there. Okay, enough with the Pokemon Masters walkthrough. I didn't realize when we hit that deep with it. The other video game announcement is that we finally get a release date for Pokemon Unite. And by the time you listen to this recording, it's probably not up yet, because the actual release day is on July 21st, which is, if I'm not mistaken, a Wednesday. And if you log in to Pokemon Unite before August 31st, you will get Zeraora for free. So they're giving you a free character. I'm not quite sure. I think I'm going to look up a list here that kind of tells us who's available right off the bat. But if Zeraora is one of your favorite Pokemon and you really want to play as Zeraora, which I believe is an attacker in the game, then make sure that you download Pokemon Unite on your Switch. Remember, it's only available on Switch in July. I think the mobile one comes out in September, if I'm not mistaken. So download on your Switch, log in, get your Zeraora. Mobile players will get a chance to get Zeraora, but it's going to be at a later date. They haven't quite specified exactly what that date's going to be. Now, if I look into Cerebi here, I believe these are Pokemon that you should be able to play right away. So we got Venusaur, Charizard, Pikachu, Alolan Ninetales, Wigglytuff, Machamp, Slowbro, Gengar, Mr. Mime, Snorlax, Absol, Garchomp, Lucario, Crustle, Greninja, Talonflame, Zeraora, as we just mentioned, Cinderace, Eldegoss, and Cramorant. I'm probably going to be starting off with Greninja. I would love to be a Blastoise. We do know that Blastoise is coming to the game, but not until a later date. So until then, I think I'm going to use Greninja. However, all these other Pokemon, of course, would be very cool to use. Although I've never played any type of MOBA game, so I'm not quite sure what I'm in for. However, I'll learn as I go. And if you ever need to look up stats or something, Cerebi's got it. Also, I think Pokemon Unite has just created a YouTube channel that's been uploading their small snippet spotlights of these characters, so you can go check that out and kind of decide who you want to kind of start using in Pokemon Unite. So also, hopefully in this week's episode, for a Friday when I record it, I'll have some thoughts on Pokemon Unite when we get there. All right, The other thing I would like to mention before we start talking about Pokemon Go Fest, Pokemon Center has a bit of unique items up. After the last time I recorded, they've kind of dropped a line of gardening statues. And these statues are bigger than what I initially thought they were going to be. I got the Squirtle one, and I think it says like they're 8 inches, but I don't know. It just seems like they're much taller than that. But it's, like I said, in width and everything, it just looks so much bigger than I thought. And okay, so with the gardening stuff, right, there's 3 or 4 planters. There's 4 planters. There's a Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, and there's a Pikachu. Although Pikachu's like on top of a Diglett and like kind of spraying water into the planter. Those are the main ones. And the other 3 items, the Maractus, the Oddish, and there's a Pikachu holding like a Whalmer water bucket or something like that. Those are just statues, like just standard statues. Now all this is obviously to go in your lawn, but the planters can be like for your desk or office space, whatever. And they have a pot there where you can put like a small little plant, probably like a succulent or something like that. If you're looking to collect them all, at this point in time, be wary. Bulbasaur and the Pikachu ones are sold out. Charmander, surprisingly, is still available, as well as Squirtle. But the statues are still available. The Maractus, the Pikachu, and the Oddish, those you can still get, which are pretty neat. They also dropped the Sinnoh starter packs, but those are already sold out at this point. They were up for a while, though, so always keep a lookout for that and for those drop dates. And just kind of check Pokemon Center quite frequently to make sure that, hey, you haven't gotten those yet, pick them up. It'd be a lot easier than picking them up anywhere else, I think. They also dropped the jewelry for those Sinnoh starters, carrying on with the charm bracelet thing. So those are still there. They added the next parade entry, which featured water Pokemon, which is probably the best parade entry they've done so far. You got Squirtle on the front, you got Mudkip in the middle, and you got Totodile on the back. Now, Squirtle is doing some water gun action. Mudkip, I think, is doing some bubble action. And then Totodile is just carrying some water buckets, spilling water all over the place. They're supposedly like firemen of the parade in a way, although the theme is they're there to cool down the audience. I think it's really neat. I really like it. Mine just got delivered today, and I think it's really, really cool. It's obviously my favorite one, though, of course, I'm super, super biased. Also, after that, the kid books, the 2 new ones, the shapes and the colors, are available for pre-order. Now, I think they're not coming out technically until October, but if you want to get them from Pokemon Center, you can go ahead and start pre-ordering those. Although, you can also pre-order them from Amazon. I haven't checked since I pre-ordered mine, because I did mine a long time ago when the first 2 books came out. But, you can always check other retailers just in case you don't want to get it from Pokemon Center. Maybe take advantage of, like, your Barnes & Noble, discount thing. Or, what else is there? Like, if you have an Amazon credit card that gives you points or something. I don't know. Whatever it is that you want to use. I'm just saying you can check out other retailers first. But if you really just want to get it from Pokemon Center, it's there. It's available for pre-order. And then the last 2 things that they dropped were plushes. Very interesting ones, because they are the Gigantamax Gengar and the Gigantamax Snorlax plushes. Now, these are fairly big, not necessarily life-size or anything like that, because that would just be ridiculously huge. But I don't know if they're really as big as, like, the Meowth and Pikachu. I doubt it. But the Gengar one looks pretty cool. I think between the 2, I think Gengar is the best one. But they're nice. They're nice additions, especially if you have like any of the other Gigantamax plushes. You might as well just add that onto your collection. Although I will say, if they ever come out with a Kingler Gigantamax, I might just have to cough up money for that one. I don't know if they're going to go out that far, but something to keep an eye on. Let's go ahead and talk about Pokemon Go Fest now. Pokemon Go Fest 2021. I would say overall probably as good as the first Go Fest. Maybe even a little bit better, just because as far as I know, there wasn't any serious or a large amount of connectivity issues, I guess you could say. So kind of backtrack, and well, let me segue here for a second, because I do want to say, out of all like the the at-home events, at least the big ones, my favorite so far has been probably the Kanto Tour Fest. I think that one kind of was a gold standard, maybe. Although, to be fair, yes, there were some raid issues here and there. We'll kind of go back on that in just a moment. But I think because of the music, the rotations of the themed Pokemon and the music and everything, I was kind of hoping that Pokemon Go Fest 2021 would kind of be up to par with what that one was like. This one seemed fine. I did like the theme around it. I think it was more, I want to say, more story based than the first Pokemon Go Fest. So the day one was basically, you're catching all your different Pokemon spawns with different themes. There was like ocean, jungle, desert, and I think cave was the other one. The spawns were fine. I was actually in a busy area. I was in fact at a mall, so I actually managed to at least get all those completed within those hours. So the first 4 hours that the rotations happened. And the special research, though, for the Meloetta took me a while. I don't remember quite why it took me a while to get that. I think there was just like a lot of catching and transferring Pokemon, and I usually as soon as I catch a Pokemon, like I'll check the stats, and if the stats aren't what I want, then I'll just go ahead and transfer it back to Willow or whatever. But I think there was just, because of so many of that, like 30 Pokemon, 20 Pokemon, whatever, that I was kind of exhausted from it a little bit, and I decided, well, you know what, I'll just kind of wait towards the end of the day maybe, and kind of go back to it. And I did. I got my Meloetta probably about like 5 p.m, almost towards the end of the night, because then I remember they were actually able to get another copy of the Pikachu that you picked, whether it was a Rockstar Pikachu or the Popstar Pikachu. And so I wanted to make sure that I had an extra copy so I could trade it with my friend the next day. But it was fine. The music was nice. I wasn't sure what the Rockstar music sounded like, but the Pop one was okay. There wasn't really anything like over the top, like, oh man, this was amazing. Like, I did like the little story where you're kind of choosing, which Pokemon you wanted to be on your, performance team or whatever, your little band, and the little group photo, the snapshot after the Meloetta research, was it? Or maybe it was a little bit before, where you had all of them in the snapshot, which was really, really nice. It was just okay, and there was nothing really maybe memorable from it. And I feel like the reveal of the Meloetta was actually kind of cool, considering that it was like on a concert stage and it was just singing, and then you had to throw your Pokeballs at it. There was no I don't think there was any sort of AR opportunity for that one. But I guess it was more memorable than the Jirachi one, or even I think that was pretty much it, right? Jirachi, or the Celebi or the Mew one. I think it was fine. There was there's not much else I can say about it. There wasn't anything, I guess, worthwhile catching. The shiny rates seemed abnormally high. I'm not sure what the right adjective is there, but I ended the day with 10 shinies, but I know lots of people posted they had like 20, they had 30 shinies. I got my shinies like within the first couple hours, and I was just surprised by, what I got. It was like Scythers and Alomolas, and I think I got a Whismur shiny. And so it was quite a bit. Unfortunately, no shiny unknowns. I did not manage to get any one of those. But, it was kind of nice to see those shinies. But yeah, it was just an okay day. I think that's how best I can sum that up for day one. It was just an okay day. Now for day two, that one was a bit different, because that one was probably the most exhausting, most, I guess, stressful, but most fun day, just because it was raid day. And, well, to kind of backtrack just a little bit, I kind of liked the story they built up to it, which I don't know if I had said this already on one of the earlier episodes when we were approaching Go Fest, because when they first announced that day 2 was going to be raid day, they were like, oh, we can't explain what's going on here. And I remember in my head saying, like, oh, that's probably a cool way to bring Hoopa. Like, that seems like a Hoopa thing to do. It was Clash of the Ages, the Hoopa movie, where that's how he brought all the legendary Pokemon in.
And I think that was for Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, the Hoopa rings. That's how the legendaries are brought into the region. So in my head, when I was reading that, I was like, oh, this would be awesome if this was the way that they would introduce Hoopa. Now, I can't remember exactly if I had said that on an episode. I wish I did, just for record's sake. But anyway, the loading screen for Pokemon Go had changed, I think either on that date or the day before, to show Hoopa in the top right corner. Also, at night, I think it was in Chicago, there was like a giant egg, and Pokemon Go did like this little countdown thing just to kind of bring in day 2, I guess. Like, oh, look, there's a ring. Look, there's a legendary Pokemon through it. And it was very recognizable that it was a Hoopa ring. And I think even on day 2, when you look in your game on the night sky, you would see a Hoopa ring. So very much Hoopa-centric. And I thought it would maybe reveal that we'd be able to catch Hoopa in the game, but it wasn't. It was just a way to bring him into the story, which is fine by me. We got one mythical. That's kind of what we always expect anyway. So if they had done it, sweet, cherry on top. If not, hey, still got the ice cream, still liking it anyway. But I just thought that was cool. I liked how they brought that in and explained why there was all these legendary Pokemon, kind of all these different hours and just raids all day. Now, they did give you a lot of raid passes. I would say, though, not enough remote raid passes. I met up with a couple buddies, and we were walking around this plaza, and we were doing raids after raids after raids, but we weren't doing the at the gym kind of raids. Like, we were doing remote raids all over the place, because if the gyms didn't have the raids that we were wanting to get, like the legendary Pokemon we wanted to get, we would just look through all the maps and everything. We're like, oh, well, there's a remote raid down there. Let's go ahead and just join that in right now. And let me tell you, though, there was no waiting for lobbies or anything like that. Like, there were people ready to go, because as soon as my buddies were able to jump in, as soon as I jumped in, it was in a different lobby. And sometimes we would all be in different lobbies just because it was that fast. People are like doing these raids that quick. So that was just still a lot of fun, though, because it was just cool just to raid with a lot of other people. The XP bonus was awesome. I think they doubled the XP just for that day, if I recall correctly. Plus, if you put in a lucky egg, I think the most you can get was 40,000 XP for raids, which is insane. So very good way to boost up your XP gain. I think I've earned at least 1 million. I don't remember how many raids that I did, but it wasn't like a whole lot, because I didn't burn through all of my what are the regular raid passes, whatever they're called, not the remote raid ones, just the regular raid passes. I didn't burn through all of those. I don't even think I got all of mine claimed. I did some because I walked around a bit, but there wasn't like that many gyms around, so I just had to do whatever I had to do. The remote raids, though, I burned through all of them, the 8 ones that they gave you, plus the 3 free ones that were in the shop. And then I bought like 1 or 2 more sets, just because me and my buddies just wanted to keep raiding. And when the location we were in is already a very busy place to begin with, but it was even more packed, and it was just fun to kind of, see other people play Pokemon Go, and, we all kind of gave each other that acknowledgement of like, hey, yeah, you're playing, oh man, I'm doing this raid too. Like, it was just very, very fun, very community driven. And I think day 2 definitely was better than day 1, and I did like that it was differentiated that way. I think day 1 is all about the catching the Pokemon, and day 2 was all about raiding, which is nice. Kind of makes you wonder that if they maybe were to extend it so that raids have 2 days, because if you are trying to catch up on legendaries or trying to aim for legendaries, it's very tricky to find the right legendary that you needed, because they could all spawn the same Pokemon, all the nearby raid, or all the nearby gyms, and that you wouldn't be able to get one until maybe another 15 minutes later. But then you're also not guaranteed to catch, because then you could fail to catch completely, and then you have to find another raid that has that Pokemon. Although, to be fair, the raids were like 15 minutes in location, and then they would change again, which was nice. That was good that they did that, and they've done that before. But I think it'd be nice if the raids were spread out, so that way you can lessen the amount of legendary Pokemon within a group. Instead of having like 6-7 legendary Pokemon in 1 hour, maybe just do 4 And that way people can just constantly kind of grind the same legendary Pokemon, so that way they can, improve their chances of getting the shiny version of that Pokemon if they wanted to. Because that's what I was initially going for, was like, oh, you know what, I have all the legendary Pokemon already in Pokemon Go. Let me just grind for shinies of the legendaries that I don't have shinies for. And I couldn't really do that unless someone invited me to the raid that I needed to, or if I needed to walk elsewhere to be in proximity of a raid. Like, it was okay. So I just I just was like, I'll just jump in any raid at this point. I don't care. There's plenty of legendary Pokemon I don't have shinies for. So I'll just kind of cross my fingers and hope for the best kind of thing. I think that would be cool though. Like, to have not just a Saturday, Sunday Pokemon Go Fest, but maybe a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Or they can even make it a 4-day weekend, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I mean, it's over the summer. School's out for a lot of people. For most people, right? I mean, to be fair, there's still people working. There's still going to be people, I guess, taking summer classes or whatnot. And then they're still going to be busy. But I think maybe that's... I don't want to say this like in a bad way, like that's a minority of people, and if we plan this early enough, then they can find arrangements to be able to be free on those days, or maybe have some sort of overlap, so we're like, they missed out on day 1 but they can still kind of catch up on day 2, or vice, be able to do everything on day 3, where it's like a Hail Mary. So maybe that could be like the last day, right? It's just like, here's everything that we've done the last 3 days, and boom, there you go. Like another catch-up day in a sense. I think that would probably be the, probably, I don't want to say best route, but it'll probably be an ideal way to go. Just because that way you get to prolong it, you kind of get more value, right? Because we got to remember that this was a $5 event, discounted from $15, because that's how much we paid for the first Pokemon Go Fest. So, or at least the first at-home Go Fest. So we do have to mentally prepare ourselves that it is going to be $15 next year. But I think that's where we can get more value, is if they give us a day or 2 more and structure it better, so that way things are more spaced out, things can be more at an even pace. They did shorten the hours too, so there's that also to consider, that if we're gonna keep it that way, having that extra day or 2 is going to be very beneficial. But like I said, I think this Go Fest at home was definitely much better than day 1. Kind of touching on connectivity issues though, my buddies had very difficult time catching legendaries, because their game would freeze on them. Either they would be in the middle of a battle and it crashes and it takes them out of the app, or when they catch a legendary Pokemon, it captures them kind of, but it freezes on that capture screen, and they're forced to like quit out of the game, because nothing will happen for like 5, 7, 8 minutes. But when they go back into the game, it doesn't register to catch. And they wasted remote raid passes, because usually, like, if they can't get back into that particular remote raid in time, then they lose that Pokemon. So it was very, very unfortunate. I didn't experience a single issue at all this entire weekend. So I'm very curious if that's really a Pokemon Go problem, like a Niantic problem, or if that was maybe a phone service problem, because they had AT&T. They both did, and they were having these issues like for the most of the day. I have T-Mobile. I never had any of these issues. So I'm very curious if you guys, if you want to chime in, on the comments or whatnot, and just let me know, like, hey, yeah, I had issues too, but I have Verizon, or I have issues too, and I had AT&T or whatever. I'd be kind of insightful, just so that we know, exactly who to address the issues with. Otherwise, we can't just completely blame Niantic on that one. That's not necessarily their fault if it's on our, phone providers. So other than that, I don't think there were any other issues. Although shiny seemed much less common, which is kind of weird to say. They didn't seem as easy to get on day 2 than day 1. I think some people noticed that, but then there were still some people that got a lot of shinies. So I don't know if rates were at all boosted at all in any of those days, or if shiny rates were just left alone, and we just, again, that's not RNG. People just get extremely lucky with shinies, and some people don't. So I just thought it was kind of weird, because it was like I was still trying to catch Pokemon, and I was like, oh, cool, I was gonna, I might be able to get a shiny of this. But unfortunately, I wasn't really able to. It's not a big deal. Shinies, I just think, are always like, the cherry on top. Like, oh, that's awesome. But, it's not really necessary. It's not needed. It's just cool when it happens. But great time at Go Fest. Glad I partook in it. It was awesome. Definitely definitely made a couple memories, and it was just definitely worthwhile. So awesome time all around, and I can't wait for next year.
All right, now let's move on to the last segment of the episode, which is, of course, the Pokédex Trivia, where I read to you a Pokédex entry for a mysterious Pokemon that you must guess based off the Pokédex entry that I read. I will maybe give you some clues here or there, although don't count on it, because this one is, I think, very easy to get once I read the description, once I read the Pokédex entry. So I may even just cut straight to the point here and tell you what the answer is just after a few seconds, just fair warning. But let's go ahead and read the Pokédex entry and give you a bit of time to think about it. Here it is. Infinite amounts of energy pour from this Pokemon's enlarged core, warping the surrounding space-time. Now, I think that last line could probably throw some people off here or there. Infinite amounts of energy pour from this Pokemon's enlarged core, warping the surrounding space-time. It is a dual-type Pokemon. It has one ability called Pressure. I guess I could give away that it's a legendary Pokemon. And its dual typing is not one I think we've seen before in a legendary typing. And with that being said, I'll just go ahead and review what the answer is. I'll read it to you one more time. It says, infinite amounts of energy pour from this Pokemon's enlarged core, warping the surrounding space-time. Alright, here it is. It's none other than number 890, Eternatus. Eternatus is the one with the enlarged core warping the surrounding space-time. Space-time could have probably thrown people off and be like, oh, that's Dialga or Palkia. It's got to be one of those. Or if it mentions both, then it's got to be Giratina. Well, the enlarged core is the one, like, neither of those three Pokemon have enlarged cores anywhere, right? Not to my knowledge. So then it kind of brings back, like, well, then what else deals with surrounding space-time? Eternatus, surprisingly, though, its dual typing is very unique. I don't think we have a poison dragon, unless Dragalge. Is Dragalge poison dragon? Oh man, I don't even remember. But I think for a legendary Pokemon, that's just very cool. Like to have a poison legendary Pokemon, because I don't think we have one, right? Let me see. Well, we did Raid Hour, right? All those legendary Pokemon. Nope, no poison. Not that I can recall. So I think that's pretty cool. Eternatus is like a very interesting design because it almost takes on like a skeleton form of a dragon, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. Like none of the Pokédex entry hints that it was a dragon at some point. So I'm wondering if the poison like is it going to be more scorpion like sure it's a dragon typing, but is it truly because it once existed as a dragon? Like there's no other backstory to this Pokemon. Like, is it a dragon type because it just takes dragon shape, dragon-esque qualities? I don't know. Either way, I mean, it's a cool Pokemon. It's a shame that we don't ever get its Gigantamax, or what they call the Eternamax, where it's just like a giant hand. I think that would have been really fun and interesting to play with, but sadly we don't. And I don't know if they ever plan on releasing that. But it is extremely useful in Dynamax battles. You know, if you're looking to catch some Dynamax Pokemon, you're just doing some random online battles. What do they call them? Raid dens or whatnot. The Eterna Beam is fairly straightforward. It is very, very good to use. So, if you don't want to use any other Pokemon and you just want something quick and easy, Eternamax is the way to go. I mean, you're kind of forced to capture Eternatus in the game, so you might as well use it while you have it. There is quite a bit of trivia here, surprisingly. I didn't think there would be, considering it's still a fairly new Pokemon, but Eternatus is the only Pokemon with a base stat total of 690. Okay? Eternatus in both of its forms is the largest Pokemon overall in terms of height. That's interesting. How do you factor in height, though, for that Pokemon? Like, maybe the Eternamax I get, but for the regular Eternatus, I don't know. Eternatus is the heaviest poison and dragon type Pokemon, and also the heaviest Pokemon overall introduced in Generation 8. Eternatus is the only poison type legendary Pokemon, excluding Arceus holding a toxic plate or Silvally holding a poison memory. Oh yeah, that would be kind of cheating, so technically that doesn't count. So there you go, Eternatus is the only poison type legendary. Despite being unable to Dynamax, Eternatus is still capable of using max moves in its Eternamax form. This makes it the only non-Dynamax Pokemon that can use max moves. But it's not playable, so I don't think that really matters. If the player has no Pokeballs when they are prompted to capture Eternatus, one will appear in their bag. Well, that's convenient. Wait, is that an automatic capture? Did I know that was an automatic capture? Maybe. Oh, well, I didn't realize if that was an automatic capture, because why would they just give you one Pokeball? Now, there's some trivia here for the Eternamax Eternatus. It is tied with Blissey for the highest base HP stat of all Pokemon. That is pretty crazy, because Blissey is known for its, beefiness, for its high HP. So, wow, okay. Has the highest base defense and special defense stats of all Pokemon. Fair enough. Has the highest base stat total of all Pokemon with 1,125. That is a lot. This also makes it the only Pokemon with a 4-digit base stat total. There you go. What's the highest? I gotta look that up later. Because 690 can't be the highest, otherwise they would have said that's the highest base stat. This also makes it the... Oh, we already read that one. Unlike other Pokemon in the anime, Eternatus is animated with 3D animation rather than 2D. It is the only Pokemon to do so, which makes sense. Because thinking back on it, from what I've seen, yeah, it is very much like computer-ish generated, so the animation is different than the other Pokemon, which that piece of trivia makes sense. In the anime, Chairman Rose is the one who named Eternatus. It had previously shared its name with the Darkest Day event. What, calling it Darkest Day? I mean, how do you come up with the name Eternatus, though? I mean, Eternatus is much a cooler name. Eternatus is the first legendary Pokemon caught by a main character in the anime. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. Well, that's like almost a given, though. It's fine. The trivia is pretty cool, though. I mean, that's a lot. Like, it's a lot more than I expected. But Eternatus is a very cool Pokemon. Definitely worth just having around. Like I said, Dynamax raids is extremely useful for, so make sure you utilize him. And yeah, very, very cool. All right, that's the end of this episode. Thank you very much for listening. Appreciate it. If you want to reach out to me, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SpartanStrike07. Or if you just want to write an email, give me some tidbits, some advice, some feedback, some topics you want me to talk about, you can write to me at SpartanStrike07@gmail.com. Otherwise, I look forward to talking to you next time about Pokemon Unite and about our hobby of collecting. That's really the big topic I want to get into. All right. So moving right along, until next episode, where we can continue to talk about anything and everything Pokemon.